All right. Morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Market Trading. I am your host, Tone Vays. I think everything is fine. It's not in the middle of the camera. So I don't know. It's weird. Hold on. I don't know. My camera has. Okay. All right. That's better. Okay. We good? Yeah, we should be good. Okay. So I don't know. It's like so different on Zoom versus what I see on the live stream. Anyway, I gotta get the camera. Let's go to charts, guys. Sorry for no video yesterday. Just got super busy and couldn't do it. We're looking at the clock. No matter how you slice it, we will have a halving in less than 1 year. That is important. This is where the countdown begins, and I think this is where the bull market really starts to take off. Though, however, if you look at the charts, I gotta load all these things up. If we look at the charts, it may not feel like it with the last couple of days. Let's review. I actually have not looked at the price since like Saturday. So I haven't looked at the charts at all. So we're going to look at them together. We are starting off on a rough week, but we've seen this before. We had a rougher week 2 weeks ago, and we recovered that week fairly nicely, not all the way to the upside, but kept the consolidation going. Bitcoin remains in this consolidation phase on a weekly scale. The really important chart. Okay, so what about support? Support is at 26,000. We have the Lucid SAR, which ideally I don't really want to break, and we have the 50 period movement. Sorry, the 200 period moving average is sitting right at 26, and the short term 20 period moving average is rising fairly slowly and should cross the 200-day moving average sometime at the end of May or early June. I think this area will hold us support. I think it's possible for us to go to that $26,000, $25,000 area. That's only 2,000 away. So of course you need to be ready for that. But I would see that area as an incredible buy the dip opportunity. If Bitcoin can make it to 25,000, I think that would be absolutely excellent. Now we have to make an assessment on our position, okay? Because now we have the price sitting below both moving averages. It is now another candle. Now, had this candle been to the upside, it would be a no-brainer. You keep the 100% bullish position. But we are a day into this candle, into this 4-day candle, and it's not looking good. And the danger is, what happens if the next candle starts to break this low? And we are very, very close to this low. So the only judgment call that I need to make before lowering the bullish allocation from 100% to something like 75 or 80% is whether I think the current candle is going to close below, we're going to round off to $28,000. So I will give this another hour, another day. But if tomorrow we are still trading right here at 28,000 or even $1 lower, I will be lowering this bullish allocation away from the 100%. And I will go back to 100% the moment the reverse happens. The moment we go up here and start closing a 4-day candle above that $29,500 range. Now, the other thing is if later today we start to crash down to 2,700 and we make a new swing low, I would also pull the trigger and lower the bullish allocation to 75%. I'm not going to do it right here on the video, but keep in mind, if at any point later today we are trading below 27.5, the allocation gets lowered. Or tomorrow, if we are trading anywhere below 28,000, the allocation gets lowered. So I really need us trading in that 28.3, 28.4 range by this time tomorrow in order to avoid lowering the 100% bullish position. This is a candle I don't like. However, I don't consider the break of a moving average until an entire candle with its wicks and shadows and body trades below the moving average. At the moment, this candle does qualify as fully trading below the moving average, but it needs to close this way. And that has not yet happened because the candle still has 10 more hours to go. So I will, stay with my bullish conviction because we have not yet broken below the prior closes on the low and below the prior swing low. However, if this candle fully closes below this moving average, the situation would be equally as dangerous as closing below these swing lows. If I had to choose which one is more dangerous, obviously closing below prior low is more dangerous than trading below the moving average. But trading below the moving average has to happen first because it's higher than where the lows are. And closing a full candle below this moving average is dangerous enough to have your highest probability chance that the price is going to go down to $25,000 now that we've closed. Looks like it's going to close below the full moving average. We can still rally later in the day. I think that with every passing day and with every day closer to the halving with less than 1 year to go, there is a way higher probability that we would go way to the upside versus way to the downside. But you never know. Here is our shorter term look. And we are consolidating near the lows on this 4-hour chart. We did drop below the prior swing lows, but we've done it before. And we never, closed. We did close below it, but we immediately got right back above it. We are sitting right on this line. I'm not going to, this is a neutral-ish situation. I'm not going to panic yet. So again, there is a decent chance we can at least rally into the moving averages, and then we'll reevaluate our situation. GBTC discount is holding up well, considering yesterday was a rough day. This is oil. Wow, that's a little surprising. I did not. That's our week. That's a daily chart. This was yesterday, and yesterday oil had a nice candle on the MRI buy. We dropped big today. I don't see a gap, so it's not that the futures crossed over. This is very interesting. Again, a little surprising. I would have expected, and I would have, if I was trading oil, I would have been going long yesterday. Wow, that is very surprising. Well, it just happened in the last hour. What happened? What? This is an hour ago. This started an hour ago. I would be taking my stop loss, right? So how would I have traded this? Well, there's two ways. Either I would have been long in this trade as of yesterday, but it was a red candle, and the candle was just rallying towards the end of day. So it's very likely I would have just waited for confirmation, and confirmation means you're trading above prior candle. So right here, the confirmation on a bullish entry would be trading above the top of the hammer candle, and maybe even the top of the body of the MRI buy candle. That's confirmation. I would not have bought on this MRI buy here because it's a nasty red candle. I would have potentially bought at the end of day on the hammer candle, or waited till the following day. But you guys have to remember, oil trades almost 24 hours, but I don't like to buy off hours. So it's possible I would have waited till early the next day. It's very likely I would have just waited till today to buy it. And since I don't buy in the first 15 minutes of trading, I would have just been staring at the screen going, what the hell is going on? So it's very possible I would not have been in this trade. But I would have been very surprised because I would have wanted to go long today or at the end of day yesterday. But you guys know about my rules on end of day entries and off hours trading. But I'm very surprised. I don't know what the hell happened in the last hour. Maybe someone in the live chat can tell me. 25% rate hike tomorrow. Yeah, maybe, very likely. I don't know. I don't know what the oil news is. I have no idea. Maybe this will tell us. The case for an Italian luxury champ. Well, what the hell does this have to do with oil? Oh, I'm looking at U.S. oil. I guess. Yeah, I mean that is a CFD. 38 minutes ago. Energy stocks retreat. Pre-market Tuesday. That's not helping. Nope. I don't know. Maybe they released a lot of strategic reserve today. Maybe the U.S. artificially crashed the price by releasing 5 million barrels or 10 million barrels of oil from the strategic petroleum reserve. I don't know. I don't have an explanation. We need to wait and see what's going on with the strategic petroleum reserve. And the number we're going to get next week is the number for last week. So we're not even going to know what they did until for another like 8-9 days. But I don't have an explanation for you guys. Natural gas is also taking a bit of a nosedive. As I said, wait for the moving averages to cross. Wait for this to be a little more consolidation. You're not going to be late to the natural gas trade. Natural gas can easily go to its upper bounds of $5. So you're not late. You just want to be right. Gold's not doing anything, so not surprising. Yeah, guys, motorists, thanks for moderating. Shoot over any more questions in our Telegram group. I see some people want me to look like DraftKings and like something else. S&P 500 is holding up super well. I think if the statement reads well tomorrow, we can definitely bounce. Don't forget, do I still have it open? I think I've closed them. Don't forget to review the FOMC drift and the effects. You can just Google for it. I don't have it up, but you can go FOMC drift. And there was 2 papers. This is the original paper from 2011 and 13. And then there was an update. This might be the update in 2018. This is 2021. We extended the sample to December 2019, right? So there's your FOMC drift. And the day of the Fed announcement is usually one of the best days for the stock market on average. over a 20, 30-year period. I strongly advise people to be aware of these studies. And this is the original study by the Fed. The Fed released this study back in 2011 of 20 years of data, saying that all of the market gains for 20 years can be summed up into like 40 days or 30 days of FOMC announcements. I forgot what page it's on, that chart. There it is. There's the chart, right? This is how the stock market performed for 20 years, excluding the 3 days around the Fed. The stock market did nothing, absolutely nothing. If you were out of the stock market on these 3 days for 20 years, the 3 days of the announcement call, you made no money. But if you were in the stock market for only these 3 days, and the Fed has maybe 10 meetings a year, so 30 days a year, 30 trading days a year for 20 years, you made all the money. You replicated the S&P 500 by only holding those 3 days. And these studies have been extended, and they continue to show the same exact thing. So I strongly advise people just do the Google search that I did and read these studies. So the S&P 500 is in a beautiful bullish structure, and I remain very bullish on the S&P 500. I would have a 100% bullish allocation in this because, as you can see, Consensio on a weekly scale is absolutely perfect here. Correlation, today's a rough day. Bitcoin had its rough day yesterday. Maybe Bitcoin, preceded the move in the stock market, which happens often. Okay, we looked at Amazon. We talked about Amazon during our spaces. Guys, we do spaces every weekend. We may start doing it one weekday evening and then weekend. So come and join us. This is where we talk about the markets with awesome other analysts and traders. So subscribe to the Financial Summit on Twitter, and join us in spaces every weekend. Don't forget. But speaking of Financial Summit, it is coming to the UAE in November, November 5 to 10. An incredible event for traders, money managers, VCs. You meet some incredible high-quality people. It's really about the connections. If you're really curious what people say about the event, please check out our testimonial videos. These are real people that paid to attend, that attended the event, and they can't wait to come back, and mostly because of the connections that they made. And a lot of these people are working together to this day. So it really is. Like, you don't really know people at regular conferences. You talk to them for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you exchange a business card, and that's probably the end of it. Here you will be playing poker and hanging out. Well, maybe not in Dubai so much, but here you're hanging out with people, smoking cigars. You're, having a drink till like 2 in the morning, and then going to your villa. And then the next day you chat with them some more. So you really get to know a person, and whether that's someone you should or should not trust or work with in the future. And I know the event's expensive, but that makes sure that the quality of the people there is high. If the event was cheap, you don't know who you're speaking to. When the event's expensive, you know the guy across from you having dinner is someone that has been successful in their life. And Unconfiscatable is an event for Bitcoiners or your friends that you want to talk out of being a shitcoiner or a no-coiner. Bring them to Vegas. Those interested in trading, check out tonevays.com, products and services, on-demand videos, and MRI indicator. All right, let's look at a couple of stocks. We can look at some indices. Let's see how the Dow's doing. Dow is doing way better than the S&P, guys. It's really it's a bullish sign. It's a very bullish sign. Let's look at effects. There are serious events happening in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And this is the ruble on a daily scale. And as you can see, the ruble is starting to strengthen. In the last couple of days, Russia has made huge progress in Bakhmut. I haven't checked this morning. I did pay attention to it yesterday. Ukraine is starting to retreat from Bakhmut. Russia is advancing in Bakhmut. And you can see that the Russian currency is now strengthening. And I know there are so many YouTubers and so much propaganda from the West about how Ukraine is winning and advancing, but I don't believe that. I don't believe it. But the world buys into this propaganda, and that was one of the reasons why the Russian currency was declining so much. And as I've always expected, I expect the Russian currency to strengthen because I expect Ukraine to eventually surrender. That's how I see the outcome of this. People can disagree, but that's how I see the outcome. And the longer that takes, the more territory of Ukraine will be under permanent control of Russia. I've said this a year ago, and I say it now, to this day. And so far, I know some people think I've been completely wrong on Russia-Ukraine, but I'm pretty certain I've been completely right. I might not have been right on how much time it takes to achieve their goals, but their goals will be achieved. A lot more people are going to die than I expected, but they will end up achieving their objective. Otherwise, we're all in trouble, like the world is in trouble. And the Russian currency will strengthen when the world realizes that Russia is going to achieve their objective, because it will send enormous confidence in the Russian currency throughout the BRICS and the developing world. And the ruble slowly declining in value is actually good for Russia, and it's good for the Russian government. A very strong ruble is not great for the Russian government. The Russian government would prefer a slightly cheaper ruble because it makes their goods a little bit cheaper. All right, let's look at some stocks. See, the Ukrainian currency has not changed at all, and that tells you that it's completely manipulated and completely controlled by the United States. So this is the currency that is manipulated. A lot of people think that the Russian ruble has been manipulated this whole time. No, this is a chart of a currency that has a lot of speculation on it. This is the chart of a currency that is completely pegged, and someone is keeping this peg. And we all know the Ukrainian government doesn't have the money to keep the peg. So how much money is the US burning, maintaining a Ukrainian peg for their currency? Because this will not go on forever. One day the Ukrainian currency will just go in massive hyperinflation because the US is no longer able to keep the peg. I don't remember saying Russia will win in a few weeks. I remember saying this will take a while. And it should have been over in a week because Ukraine was ready to sign an agreement and a peace deal. And had they signed it back in March of 22, March of 2022, Ukraine was ready to sign a peace deal, giving up the Donbass. And now Ukraine is not close to signing a peace deal, and now they lost a lot more territory. So In my view, Ukraine made a huge mistake. And Ukraine is the one that lost the majority of that 200,000 people. Out of that 200,000 dead, at least 150,000 of them have been Ukrainians, at least, if not more. My random guess, it's about 160 to 170 Ukrainians have died, and about 30 to 40,000 Russians. But that ratio is widening. I think the majority of the Russians died early because Russia made some mistakes in the way they attempted to end the war in the first 2 weeks. So the bulk of Russians that died happened in that first month. And after that, the ratio has been 5 to 7 dead Ukrainians for every Russian, which is unfortunate. And I hope it never happened. And I hope it stops tomorrow. But the only way it stops is if the West doesn't interfere and lets Ukraine negotiate that peace agreement. Yeah, at least 30 to 40,000 Ukrainians died in Bakhmut. Yeah, that makes total sense. I don't understand how anyone thinks that 100,000 Russians have died. Russia only had about 200 something thousand when they entered a year ago. They recruited another 300 to 500,000, but they haven't deployed those people yet. If Russia if Russia lost more than 50,000 soldiers, they would have already they would have already sent their the army that they recruited. That was back in like September or October. It was like 6 months ago when Russia had were recruited another like 300,000 to 500,000 soldiers, and they're still sitting there waiting and training. And the only reason that would happen is because if Russia lost significantly less people than the bullshit you are listening to. I would be very surprised if Russia lost more than 4,000 people. Probably closer to 25 to 30,000 dead Russians. But Ukraine, probably over 150 by now. And that could be an understatement. You got to pay attention to what's going on the ground, not listen to the mainstream media. The situation on the ground is going so bad for Ukraine. It's so unfortunate that they didn't just agree to Russian terms in March. They could have saved 150,000 of their people, probably, plus another, I don't know what, 5 million that had to flee the country. Horrible situation. Let's go to stocks. Check out the mempool. What's in the mempool? Wagner is almost decimated. Prigozhin said this. Are you listening to Prigozhin, or are you listening to the West trying to translate Prigozhin and telling you the opposite of what he actually says? See, I've listened to Putin's speeches in Russian, and then I've seen American headlines, and they've literally printed the opposite of what he said. So stop, unless you can actually speak Russian or have a trusted friend that would honestly translate the Russian, I wouldn't trust anything that you hear or say. And that trusted friend needs to be a neutral Russian speaker. Get someone from Kazakhstan, get someone from Uzbekistan, maybe Belarus, maybe Latvia, though I don't know how neutral they'll be. But if you have a Ukrainian friend that is going to translate Russian for you, that's probably not very neutral. Find an American that speaks Russian. Find a German that speaks Russian. They're very honest people. What about the mempool? Mempool is getting a little clogged up. I don't know what that means. We cleared the mempool a few weeks ago, and it's looking rough right now. That's weird. I don't know what's going on. Your transactions are a little costly right now. 70 sat per byte is not, cheap. Start learning that Lightning Network. Not looking great. Let's go to stocks. Someone wanted me to look at DraftKings. DraftKings looks great, exactly as I expected. I expected a pullback to the moving average. It almost made it there. And we had a green star candle breaking the prior swing high. Looks beautiful. Very bullish. What was that other stock? STNE. Could the mempool be clogged up because Bybit is now requiring KYC and people are leaving Bybit? Yeah, it's very, very possible. Very, very possible. I'm not a fan of this. I would lean bullish. This thing crashed from $90 to $11. Stone Co. Ltd. I don't know what they do. Emerging markets. I don't know what they do. Well, when you click on more news, it goes away. So that's weird. I don't know what this company does. Sounds like a resources play out of Latin America. It looks bullish. The consolidation has lasted for a year and a half. It weathered the storm. The company didn't die. So it does look bullish to me here. An MRI top is coming. Maybe one more pullback. And then higher. I think that's the likely path. I like it. I don't have suggestions on Lightning. Check regional stocks. Oh, wait, there was a super chat. Oh, ATLX again. Damn it. Wow. I really need to add this to my list. Someone really wants to know a daily update on LTLX. Oh my God. Yeah, take your profit. You take your profit. I mean, this is MRI top. It's an MRI top. Take your profit. I hope you take your profit. Chris, I hope you took your profit. Take that profit. It did close the gap already. I would take my profit. 1 to 4 candle correction, and then I would, potentially go back in. But yeah, I would absolutely take my profit. And I definitely would never go long on this day. Like I would even consider shorting. But that's very dangerous. I'd consider buying like a put. Like everyone would be so bullish right here. I'd even consider shorting. Exponential rise into an MRI top. Look at this thing. Yeah, I'd even consider shorting. Probably wouldn't, but I'd consider it. Definitely would take my profit. Like almost all of my profit. I would take like 80% profit right here. I can always go back in. I can always go long again. Yeah, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I would do. I would, if I was smart enough, which I'm not, to be in this thing on the entire run up, I would totally take my profit here. Okay, regional stocks. PACW. Ooh, that looks bad. Oh, that just looks bad. Breaking new lows. I'd stay away from it. I wouldn't short it. It's too cheap and it's too late. Next, MCB. They're all going to look the same. Same comment. Looks like a total disaster. It's a $20 stock. It's got room to the downside, but look how much it's fallen already. Probably too late to short. I would just, watch them and maybe try to buy, the distressed asset. Now, when JP Morgan took it over, did they buy out the stock or no? What was that? First Republic? So JP Morgan took it over, but they didn't bail out the shareholders. They didn't buy the company from the company. They waited for the government to shut down the bank, and then they took over the depositors. So they didn't actually buy out the company like they did with Bear Stearns. That's smart. So it's possible that another bank is going to buy out some of these regional banks before the government shuts it down. But if the government shuts it down, then the stock price goes to zero. But if another bank buys out the company, then the stock could jump, 20-30%. They'll buy it at a higher price. So, but I would stay away from all these stocks. I'd stay away from all these regional banks. What was the last one? Wall. Again, it's got $30 is shortable, and it's way off the lows. I mean, if you were going to short a regional bank, this would probably be it. But I wouldn't do it. I don't. I don't like to trade all extra volatile assets unless I'm given some kind of a gift on technical analysis, and this thing can rebound to the opposite side any day. So it's a bit dangerous. But if there was one I would short out of the three, it would be this one. Tilray. It's the one stock I can never find on this chart. I'll find it eventually, but in the meantime, let's look at Bitfarms. It's up today, surprisingly, considering Bitcoin's down. And this was that new one, that new mining company, Wolf. And looks good, looks bullish. Hopefully fake meat is still going down, which it is. And I can never find Tilray. Jesus. Didn't get much sleep last night. Looks terrible. Chart looks terrible. I'd wait. I mean, eventually, when it's like $1.50, there's only so far down it can go. Well, Mt. Gox have bearish impact on the markets. Yeah, it will have bearish impact on the markets. But like I've said before, I think they're waiting for the creditors of Mt. Gox to die of old age before they do anything about it. SPX is reversing? Oh, no, SPX is dropping and Bitcoin is rallying. Well, Bitcoin dropped more than it should have recently. And by recently, I mean the last 48 hours. Look at Bitcoin rallying, just as that green arrow. Again, I was hopeful. This is why we stay patient. This is why I don't count, the chickens. Yes, it was looking like a full daily candle was going to close below the moving average, but I didn't panic, and I did not lower my 100% bullish position yet. And if we make it above 29,000 today, I will have no need to consider lowering the bullish position. But if we were to close below 28,000, I would absolutely lower the bullish position. So it is very, very likely I'll be waiting till end of day, and we will decide tomorrow whether to retain our 100% bullish position or drop 25% off that bullish position. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. I think I covered everything. What's C3AI? Is that the name of a company? What's the ticker? You gotta give me a ticker. All right, I'll look at TSCO, give that person a chance to give me a ticker. I like it. I like it a lot. Tractor Supply. Really? Who's buying all these tractors? Is Bill Gates buying them so no one else can actually farm? Like, what's going on? Like, farms are getting shut down. Who's buying the tractors? Again, is Bill Gates trying to raise the price of tractors so that farmers can't farm anymore? Oh, by the way, there was a tweet recently. I don't know how true this is. Let me go to Tone's like tweets, which is also dangerous. Yeah, that's current science, and that's past science where a lobotomy was given the Nobel Prize. Science is always changing. That's the whole point of science. And I have a science degree, so at least I can comment on it. Here, if this is true, if this is a Bill Gates funded farm, appear, I want everyone to be aware never to buy anything from this farm. Bill Gates is on the Tone Vays, Four Horsemen of Death, like one of the foremost evil people in the world, is Bill Gates. He's up there with Klaus Schwab and Soros and probably Fauci. He's up there as my worst 4 human beings to walk the planet. And if this farm was fully financed by Bill Gates, I hope no one ever buys anything from this farm. Oh, the ticker is AI. Okay, got it. All right, so this tractor stock is looking very well. It looks super bullish. Would I buy it here? It's unlikely, and my only explanation for unlikely is that it's unreasonably high versus its 200-day moving average. It's just too high. The chances for a pullback are just too great. When was the best time to buy this stock? If you were paying attention to it, the best time to buy this stock was right here. Oops. The best time to buy this stock was, well, actually everything was great to buy in this time, so that's not fair. The next best, it's not fair to me to pick this area in like May 2020. So the best time to buy this stock was actually right here in February of 2021. That's the best time to buy the stock. Yes, it's also high versus 200 moving average, but it's a little bit of a different situation. That was a longer consolidation, and it was very, very easy to break the prior swing high. Would I buy it now, considering it never pulled all the way back to the 200-day moving average? It's a little bit riskier, but it still looks super bullish. But then you also have to factor in how far it went up since the start of the pandemic, and it's up to 150%. I like to buy strength, but there is a limit to where on the hyperwave chart I want to buy that strength. So it's a rough buy at the moment, but it's certainly bullish. We have AI. That's one. Ooh, this is interesting. So I like it, but I wouldn't risk it. So what that means is I would only buy this stock above $20. I would not buy it. I would not go long below 20 because we're not on an MRI buy here. And if we continue going down for an MRI buy, we're going to end up at a double bottom, and that's bad. I like this strong rebound at the end of last year, but this correction has got on a little bit far, and it's on its last leg. So either it reverses in the next few weeks, and then it needs to rally above the short-term moving average, at which point it becomes very interesting as a buying opportunity, or it doesn't do that, and then it's not even something to consider. All right, guys, I need to get off the stream. I can't be looking at stocks all day. 100 years ago, science thought there was only one galaxy. Well, we don't have to go back that far. 100 years ago, people didn't even believe in plate tectonics. Like, forget one galaxy. Like, the point is that science needs to always be questioned and always evolve. And what's happening to the profession of science right now is scary. It's scary. This looks terrible. This looks terrible. Like, I wouldn't buy this. Planet Musk, thank you for the super chat. This stock has been doing really, really bad. Really bad. And I'll tell you when shit hit the fan for this stock. Again, just my suspicion. Well, besides the price of Bitcoin going down, it was also after I think Jack Dorsey lost a lot of respect. Now, as you guys know, I was always what's the word I'm looking for here? I was always critical of Jack Dorsey. And then Elon Musk validated all my concerns of Jack Dorsey. Because Jack Dorsey straight up lied to Congress and about his company. And Jack Dorsey, as CEO, should not have done that. So, and I know there's no penalty for lying to Congress. No one gives a shit. But Jack Dorsey probably lost a lot of confidence in him when he stood in front of Congress and said straight up, Twitter doesn't shadow ban, when everyone sees with their eyes that they shadow ban. And Elon Musk proved that they shadow ban. And when you have that kind of a reputation for straight up lying on national television, that hurts your credibility in running another company. So I think that is going to be a big problem for Square when people don't respect your CEO. I think Elon Musk should take himself more seriously than he does. But yeah, I believe that people do trust Elon Musk, and I haven't seen anything from Elon Musk that tells me not to have trusted him. Other than him being a total troll, which I'm not a fan of, that should be reserved for anonymous cat accounts on Twitter and not the richest man in the world. So he's a little immature, but his immaturity is different than whether he's a trustworthy person. You can have trustworthy, immature people. You could also have very mature and very proper perpetual liars. Again, look at Bill Gates. Look at Fauci. All right, guys, on this note, I'm going to end it. Thank you all so much for watching. And I will see you all on the next one. One last peek at short-term Bitcoin. Still pumping. Looks great. Staying with 100% bullish allocation. See you all tomorrow.